Hi, I'm Grady. And this is my Grady bot.
For 2 months last year, Grady Hofmann lived vicariously through this robot. In the spring of 2012, Grady, then 8 years old, was told he needed a bone marrow transplant and that afterwards he'd be confined to a small isolation room in a hospital. A dreaded sentence for a young boy who prefers mucking about with his 2 older brothers. But a family friend convinced Silicon Valley company Anybots to loan Grady a QB, one of their telepresence robots, which the family dubbed GradyBot.
I was happy, really happy.
Why?
Because I knew I can be home, but I wasn't actually home.
Cameras on the QB served as Grady's eyes, a microphone and speakers as his ears.
And that person in that remote location through their browser can see what that robot's seeing and can hear what that robot's hearing. So they can talk to people in the remote location.
From the hospital, Grady remotely navigated the 2-wheeled self-balancing robot around the Hofmann home.
We'd sit at the table, and then we took away Grady's chair and put the robot next to the dinner table, and so he would eat his lunch in the dinner in the hospital, and we'd eat our dinner at the table, and he could be with us.
GradyBot joined his brothers for pre-bedtime gabs, visited his classmates at school, celebrated his brother's birthday, and endured the usual sibling torment.
It was kind of fun, but yet weird. It was more fun having Grady on the robot. So then if we got annoyed, we just turned him off. He finally had a mute button.
They may tease, but the Hofmann clan, especially Mum Amy, realized the GradyBot was a bright spot during a difficult time.
It was just a nice way to stay connected, and I think when you're going through something like transplant that takes so long, it just is, the power of the human connection is just so, it's so important in the healing process.
The boys agree the QB was easy and fun to use, though they did suggest one improvement.
I don't know how you'd make it, but arms would be awesome on the robot.
We had a suggestion too. While demoing the device, we noticed occasional connection hiccups, which compromised the experience.
The internet's plenty fast. Our server's in Austin, and we drive all over the world going to and from Austin. But it's that last mile where you have to get from the access point in the building to us via Wi-Fi that sometimes is the problem.
Hey Joe, how you doing?
Still, the technology is proving that robots are good for more than just dull deeds nobody else wants to do. And the robotic telepresence market is quickly becoming more crowded. There's the Beam from Suitable Technologies, the Manterobot, the Vigo, and others. This is likely welcome news for megalomaniacs who can finally set about assembling their very own robot army. Not convinced? Oh, all right. Here are some practical uses then. Doctors can make virtual house calls. Students can pursue remote learning opportunities. Employees could save on travel expenses and send robots to pop into a colleague's cubicle or roll over to a meeting. A built-in laser can even help them make a point. No shortage of uses for robotic telepresence, but you may come up short on cash. The QB, for example, costs $10,000. But telepresence doesn't have to cost a small fortune. Say hello to the double. Or should I say, my double? The double runs $2,000. Like the QB, it's a 2-wheeled self-balancing robot. But instead of integrated cameras and speakers, it uses an iPad, which, as you might have guessed, isn't included.
It has gyros, it has accelerometers to sense where it's going and if it's tilting forwards and backwards, and of course it has motors.
The lower price opens doors for some interesting uses. Imagine visiting an art collection halfway around the world.
It's great for giving museum tours. It could be an additional revenue generator because you could have people visiting the museums even after hours.
Double robotics suggests that parents could keep an eye on their kids. Of course, the crafty kids will figure out how to outsmart the technology. 13-year-old me would just lock this babysitting bot in the closet. Bye, Mom. Because robotic telepresence is a relative newbie in the tech world, every device has its shortcomings and its strengths. The height of the QB must be changed manually, but on the double, it can be adjusted on the app with a button. The double is lightweight, but less robust than the sturdy QB. And of course, none of them can overcome a common obstacle: stairs. But given the potential, it might be best not to abandon these bots anytime soon.